What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Success? Welcome to Speak Your Success in the Morning, y'all. Glad to have you with us this morning. Today is Thursday, January 29th, 2025, and y'all already know it's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to be alive. Glad to have y'all rocking. Glad to have y'all rolling. And today here on Speak Your Success in the Morning, we got a lot of things to talk about. We got some business to talk about. We got some things to talk about. All right. So I'm Jonathan Jones. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is going fantastic on your side, on your end. And y'all, the way we typically started here off on our show, we typically start about what we had for dinner last night. Okay. And last night, what did I have for dinner? Last night, I was just hungry. And, it's one of those nights where you feel like you don't want to necessarily make anything. You don't want to necessarily put nothing too heavy on your stomach. So last night, I went getting ready to go to bed. I went to the kitchen. I poured me a big old bowl of some Cocoa Puffs. Okay, some Cocoa Puffs. I'm not sure how you do your ratio with the milk. If you do just a little bit of milk, and then where you have to like dip your cereal in, or you do a lot of milk to where you kind of, it's what and what, 50-50 milk and cereal. But whatever. I did 50-50 milk and cereal, dove in, and that's what we had last night for dinner. Because I was like, we have some food in the fridge, but we've been inside these past 4 days. We've been doing the leftover thing, and I just didn't really feel like eating anything else. So last night for dinner, we had Cocoa Puffs. Family, we're going to go ahead and get ready to transition. Y'all, here on Speaking Success in the Morning, we always get to a few things. And those topics typically are entertainment, empowerment, and education. All right. And today for our empowerment, what we're going to do is transition to straight from the source. And I wanted to tell the story of Jacob and Esau, which takes place in Genesis chapter 25. And this is an interesting story. And I don't know why it popped in my head. I don't know why God put it on my heart this morning, but I wanted to share this with you. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to break it down a little bit. But yeah, this is some interesting text. This is some interesting text here. So the story is broken down just like this, y'all. I'm just going to read the text. Okay. I'm just going to read the text. And the text says, starting with verse 29, Genesis chapter 25, starting with verse 29. When Jacob had cooked a stew one day, okay, so Jacob was the brother that was, the brother that was typically inside, helped the mom out, different things like that. Esau came in from the field and he was exhausted. So Esau was a brother that's out in the field, that's getting it, that's doing the hunting, and, more so like of a rugged type personality type guy. And Esau said to Jacob, please let me have a mouthful of that red stuff there, for I am exhausted. Okay. Therefore, he was called Edom by name. But Jacob said, first, sell me your birthright. Esau said, look, I'm about to die. So of what use then is the birthright to me? And Jacob said, first, swear to me. So he swore an oath to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. And then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew. And he ate and drank and got up and went on his way. So Esau despised his birthright. So what are we looking at here? Okay. There's a few themes that I want to bring out to us as we get into this text. The first one is the setup of hunger versus heritage, right? Because Esau came in from the field. He's exhausted. He's hungry. And you know how it is when you're really hungry. Nothing else matters. You can't think straight. You can't operate straight. You can't process through stuff. You're just like, the only thing I can think about right now, the only thing I want right now is that their food, whatever it is, right? So with Esau being physically depleted and everything like that, he was in the spot to where the fatigue lowered his discernment. We got to be careful. We got to be careful because he was here making a major life decision being made in a moment of weakness, not in a position of strength. All right. Then what else happened is he had a desire, right? He said, I want some of that red stuff. Esau didn't even know the name of the stew or what it was he was really looking at. He just knew he wanted relief. And when our desire at time can take over. Now it's going to put us in a place, in a position to where we're not even really thinking long term. We're thinking of just in that moment, right? And how many times have you been in a moment of passion, a moment of desire, a moment of temptation, to where what happened later doesn't really matter? It's all about right here, right now, right? You're hungry. Like Esau said, I don't care. Like, what is my birthright to me? I'm just ready to eat right now. And some of us, in a time of desperation, we will make certain decisions that we wouldn't make any other time. And I want you to really just consider, if you were to switch roles with Esau just for a moment, because it's easy for us to read the story and say, oh man, like, what is he doing? He's willing to give up his birthright. He's willing to give up a level of ownership. He's willing to give up legacy, all because he's hungry. Like, come on, Esau. But if we're honest enough with ourselves, we know that if some of us was in that same position, we would have took that same deal, right? Because a birthright, what does a birthright even look like? A birthright is legacy. A birthright is inheritance. It's a covenant blessing. It's spiritual leadership. And Jacob's giving him an offer, right? Jacob didn't steal his birthright. Jacob offered him a bowl of soup for his birthright. And the thing that also is worth saying and seeing here is that Esau freely gave it up. So therefore, in that instance, it didn't have as much value as one would assign to it. But hey, a bowl of stew. You giving up the legacy for a bowl. Imagine that in 2026. Imagine somebody approaching you. And I mean, in the context of this, of course, it's his brother, right? It's not just anybody, it's his brother. But for you in 2026, imagine somebody who's close to you. They offer you like, you're struggling. Let's say you're struggling. It's easy to say this. Let's say you're struggling financially. And then somebody offers you, hey, I'll give you X amount of money. I'll give you this amount of money for this idea that you have, for this concept, for this product, for this thing that you've done, created, you've invested time, effort, energy into. Do you want to take the deal? And a lot of times when we're in need, when we're in desperation, we'll say, yeah, I'm not trying to rationalize a thought process. I need this money. So we'll sell something that's so much more valuable. We'll give something away that has so much more value. All because of our needs in the moment. So with this text, the thing I want you to look at is slowing down. Slowing down, right? Because here, Jacob forced Esau to make it an official thing. He said, I want you to make an oath. So we got a contract. He got a contract with him for this deliberate exchange. Today, I want you to slow down. A lot of stuff is happening. A lot of people need money. A lot of people are willing to do things that are off, like that are outside of their character, because we're moving so fast. So slow it down. Okay. The reflection moment here is slow down so you can assess what you're really willing to give up, what you're really willing to release, let go, give away. Slow down. So that when we make these decisions, we're fully aware of what we're doing, right? We know what we're doing. We know what we signed up for. We know what our decisions are. And family, that's been straight from the source this morning, talking a little bit about Jacob and Esau. This is one of those stories that, we oftentimes grow up on, but I want to just break it down and make it real for you in 2026. So family, go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to our channel on YouTube. Or if you would like to subscribe, go ahead, type in Speak Your Success Media, and you can find us there to where, we're bringing episodes for you every Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central Standard, every single day, getting you through the week successfully. All right. Now we're going to get ready to transition. And y'all, there were some things that I saw across my timeline. There's some things I saw happening in the world. And I said, let's talk about some of these things because it's just time, right? Because Jacob and Esau was a story about two brothers. And I want to focus today on the power of you telling your story, showing up, sharing your story, why it's relevant, and who needs to hear it. So I want to go ahead and get into some of what we got here today. And looking at that, y'all, first, what I want to do is, as we get ready to transition into a little conversation or a little bit around sports, you might be familiar with this gentleman here. You might have seen him before. John Wall. Do we know John Wall? Y'all, do we know John Wall? Of course we know John Wall. Put some respect on John Wall's name. Okay, John Wall now is a podcast host. And he also has recently become an analyst with Prime on their NBA sports, their sports show, their sports content that they do and roll out before the games. But John Wall went on to say this as this conversation that keeps on picking up steam about players who went pro and then now they're trying to come back and go back and play in college. John Wall, who played at the highest level in college, performed at the highest level, was one of the most dominant college players back in the day. And then he went to go into the league and then compete as well. Let's see what John Wall had to say about this.
Be honest, I'm just saying, like, they already give you the benefit if you can get to go to the combine early and go get tests and ask questions. And if you don't think you got the right advice or right things to get drafted in a certain position, you're able to come back to college. I think that's already enough because when we declared, it wasn't no coming back. You gone. I think that's what it is because, like, come on, you got guys that's 26, 25, go play in the G League. That's like playing in the NBA. It's like you getting reps. You understand what goes on. You might get call-ups and play NBA games or even just work out in NBA game. Work out for NBA teams. So I think it's taken away from the game, but this is what they have to fix. That's not my side of the business. I like it when it was more younger guys. You keep a couple older guys that's juniors and seniors, or some guys that might have a fifth year or red shirt year or COVID years back. But
man, much respect to John Wall. He said that's not my side of the business. That's not for me to fix. I respect that answer, John Wall. I really respect that answer very, very much. And I mean, that's super true, right? That's super true because that is one of those things to where they have to fix that, and now it's time. It's time for them to fix it. Okay, so staying on track, still talking a little bit about about stories, right? Stories. I like to tie in a little bit of relationship stuff here and there because I've been married 6 years with my wife, and we love to binge a good show on Netflix. And it says here, according to research, right, couples who binge watch shows together are actually strengthening their relationship. Okay, wow, they're strengthening their relationship. Let's see why. Okay. It says binge watching shows with your partner isn't just a lazy pastime. It actually strengthens your relationship. And studies show that those couples who share entertainment experiences report higher relationship satisfaction, better communication, and increased emotional closeness. Okay, so watching together creates shared memories and gives you more to laugh, talk, and cry about. Do y'all agree with that? If you agree with that, let me know something down in the comment section because me and my wife, we do watch shows, and we just finished up His and Hers, and what other show? We've also watched. I mean, we watch all the shows. Of course, we're waiting for Paradise to come back. Sterling, I know y'all are coming, but come on, bro. Waiting for Paradise to come back, waiting for Shrinking to come back. So we watch these shows and we talk about it and dive in. So I would love to hear you all's thoughts. Do you think that that is accurate? That couples who binge watch shows together are actually strengthening a relationship? Or would you say that's cap? Would you say that's cap? All right, today is January 29th, like I said, and today a legend was born. Okay, and we're gonna honor this legend because she's inspired many of us. She's inspired me also in many ways as well. So without further ado, let's pay homage to the one and only.
There is no story anybody has ever heard that somebody else hasn't experienced. Nothing. And I also figured out that all pain is the same. That a mother in Somalia feels the same way as a mother in Seattle when she loses her child. And the common denominator in the human experience is our emotions and our feelings. And the more vulnerable and open you are willing to be with your story, the more actual understanding you create with other people, and the more powerful you become.
All right. So now, look, I wanted to share that and show that clip because y'all, for one, man, shout out to Oprah. Shout out to Oprah Winfrey. Shout out to Oprah. All right. Oprah, who has, done so much more than we can imagine. Right. And now she's back and she's doing her podcast show now and just creating culture, creating waves for the culture, in culture. Man, shout out to her. Happy birthday. And I have the utmost respect for everything that she's been doing and has done because she's caused me and challenged me to think about a lot of things and even shift my perspective a little bit on some things, and just hearing her story and what she went through, what she experienced. Oprah, much respect to you, ma'am. Much respect to you. But with that being said, I want to also share and show another clip as we're just talking about sharing your story, as we're talking about the power of perspective. I also want to go here and share something from my guy Inky Johnson. If you're not familiar with Inky Johnson, you've been living under a rock. He's an amazing speaker, phenomenal speaker, dope dude, amazing husband, super dope father. Okay, so let me share this clip with Inky. Let's see what Inky had to say here.
We don't see it as a blessing, right? If something happens, an experience, if it doesn't go the way we want it to go, oftentimes we don't consider that to be a blessing. But some of the greatest blessings in our lives are things that didn't turn out or work out the way that we wanted it to, right? I know personally, right? My arm got paralyzed. I never thought I would be doing what I'm. One of the greatest blessings of my life, right, was in the midst of redirection. And so if we can put our perspective and our perception in such a place that when it doesn't go our way, because we know what to do when it goes our way, but when it doesn't go our way, not only what is the lesson in it, like what's the blessing in it, right? Some of the greatest blessings are things that don't work out or didn't go as planned. That's why I called it serendipity,
Yeah.
Because oftentimes when we would see a person at a certain destination or see somebody working in their purpose, when I was a young man, I would think, man, they had to always want to do that. Right? That person teaching, that person speaking, that person like corporate America, that person, they had to always want to do that. And then when you ask them, hey man, how did you start doing what you're doing? Like, how did this happen? And then they go down the rabbit hole. No, man, I was trying to do this. Then this happened. I got redirected to this. I was talking to a pastor last night. I was like, man, this is a beautiful facility. Like, how did this happen? Like, how did you become a pastor? You had to always want to be, you went to seminary, this, that. He was like, nah, man, when I was 19, I had a scholarship to play baseball. He said, and I got a young lady pregnant. I had to redirect my life. I didn't get the opportunity to go play baseball. It sent me down the road in terms of my spiritual development. Now I'm a pastor.
Wow. Man, shout out to my guy. Shout out to my guy, Inky Johnson. Man, and the reason why I want to play that clip is just because perspective, y'all. Perspective. Like, yeah, in our life and throughout the course of us in our own journey, telling our story, doing what we do, wherever it is that we are, so often, if we're not careful, we try to write stuff in permanent ink and permanent marker over what God already wrote in eternal ink. We try to come over and mark over it. It's like, nah, but God already wrote, this is what your story is. God already wrote, this is what's happening, right? He said, for I know the plans that I have for you. For I know the plans that I have for you. We just got to understand, like, God's putting us in position to do the things that we like, the things that we enjoy. God gives us experiences and opportunities. But what we do with those experiences and opportunities determines where we will go. Come on, y'all. We got to know and understand. Like, for me, I didn't always want to work at a church. When I grew up, I didn't have a dream to work at a church. But when I was in Dallas for a good amount of years, then my best friend, Mahari Takai, me and him started a church together. And then after being a part of starting that church and that church plant, then the church began to grow. And then I got married, and then me and my wife moved to a different church. But then after that, what happened was I am here where I am now, right? COVID happened. And then I'm driving Uber, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm still speaking, but then I'm looking for a job. I'm like, where can I work? Where can I work? I was looking for something that I didn't even know what I was looking for. And then by the grace of God, I was connected. And then I started working at media. I started working in media at my church. And then for me working in media, then I get the opportunity to begin to further expand my horizons, to learn more about working audio, to learn more about video, to learn more about all things that are encompassing in production, in videography, working with cameras. This was never my dream. This was never my goal. But now I'm here. I'm like, whoa, I've been podcasting since 2017, been helping people start podcasts. But I've been just showing them and helping them based on the little bit that I knew at that time. But now I'm learning about cameras and learning about frame rate and HDMI cables and 4K 4K value, our production on cameras. And now my elevation has been increased. I'm learning about cameras and switchers and different things like this. But y'all, it's all about perspective. Because I could have showed up to work one day and just kept showing up like, man, I'm here, whatever. Like, I'm here, whatever. But then I got to the point to where I started saying, well, you know what? Well, let me see. Well, we at work and they got these nice cameras. Let me see if I can hop on a camera and learn something. Let me see if I can get on the audio board. Let me see if I can learn something with this lighting. Like let me see what all of these different machines that they have. This different products that they have. Let's see if I can learn how to utilize that. So I want to talk for a second just about, like, where is your perspective? Yeah. Where is your perspective? I know we just came out, we're in Dallas and people across the country. I know we just came out of being in the house for a good little bit of time, right? If you were snowed in, iced in, frozen, whatever it might be. What was your perspective? Yesterday, my wife and I had the opportunity to get a test run of homeschooling our son, our oldest, right? Because the youngest is running around doing his own thing. He rerunning the house at this point. 9-month-old baby boy just he doing his thing, just being cute. But our oldest, we have to give him more structure, right? Because we started out strong when he was born. We would read to him. We'd do flashcards and I'd, hold up things in front of his face, move it side to side, make sure that he could focus and have that range of neck motion. But the thing that we learned yesterday was our son has so much energy, so we got to contain that thing. And homeschool is something that we talked about before, wanting to do homeschool for our son potentially in the future and like what that could look like that and what that would look like. So yesterday, God gave us an answer to a prayer. Just by showing us, like, this is what it could look like, John. This is what it requires, John. Are y'all still up for it? Like, are y'all still committed to doing this thing that you said you potentially want to do? But I'm sitting down with them and we're counting and we're turning on Mickey Mouse Funhouse and got him dancing around to do some motion. And we basically had a whole lesson plan put together. Shout out to my wife, because she was putting together the lesson plan. She was like the curriculum development guru, and I was like the TA that's applying what she just put together in place. Like, hey, check this out. I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, son, let's color this. Let's do that. But I'm sharing all that just to say, where is your perspective? Yeah. You have a story. Your story is valuable. Your story is valid. The experiences that you've had, that you've been through, ups, downs, all around, you deserve to share those experiences with someone else, so that not only you, who's experienced pain from those things, that also others can experience the growth, the benefits, the opportunity, right? My dad, Dr. Fred Jones, he says, you've already experienced the pain. Make your pain pay you back. Don't harbor those experiences. Don't harbor those hurts. And y'all, that's why I'm so passionate about podcasting. I say it all the time, all the time. I say it all the time. But this is why I'm such a strong advocate for podcasting, is because I believe that each and every one of us has a story. And based on that story, we should be able to share that thing, leverage that thing. And when we leverage that story, now we're positioning ourselves for ultimate and true growth, right? To be able to grow your business, to be able to grow your connections, to be able to grow your network, to be able to grow in your life, to be able to grow and be whole as a person. And that's why I've told people time and time again, like, I love helping people start podcasts, because I love for them to go on a journey of self-discovery. Y'all, you go on a complete journey of self-discovery. And I wasn't even planning on doing this, but I'm going to share it with y'all, because I want y'all to see this, man. Y'all need to see this thing. Y'all need to see this. So the thing about podcasting, for one, so many people struggle with getting their podcast started and getting their podcast kicked off. Why is that? Like, why is it so difficult? Why is it so hard? Because we have to get out of our own way. We got to get out of our own way. And the thing about getting out of your own way is that you have to be okay with some mess ups, some mistakes, and different things like that. So, man, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Family, if you're somebody that at some point in time has said, I have an interest in starting a podcast, then this message is for you. This message is completely and totally for you, actually. Yeah, complete and totally for you. And I'm gonna share. So I'm getting ready to close this thing out. But I have a community. It's called the Get Paid with Podcasting Community. Let me go ahead and let me show you, okay? Because I can, like the old folks say, I can show you better than I can tell you. So let me go ahead and show you better than I can tell you, okay? You understand me? So yeah, the thing about this community that I've created, that I've built, that I've put in place, right? This is the Get Paid Podcast community. You can see right up there, okay? And this is what people get in the program. So, of course, we got some memberships that we break down. I even got replays for you from like all of our previous calls that we've had way so long ago. But y'all, first we're going to break down for you the essentials of podcasting right here, helping you get clear on your podcast purpose, getting clear on identifying target listener, helping you pre-launch and getting what you need for that, helping you stand out on your show. But then I'm going to show you even how to map out a show. So often people are putting out podcasts or putting out mics in front of them, but don't nobody take the time to get clear on, well, why are you doing this? What's in a show? What does that even look like? How does that? Yeah. So we're going to help you with that. Then I'm going to help you break down your podcast description. Some of y'all just throwing out a podcast, just putting out a couple sentences. And then from that point, it's like, this is it. That's not going to make people want to tap in and really lock in with you. Then I give you the top 5 podcasting formats. Y'all, people out here are struggling trying to identify what's the top 5 podcast format? What's the top podcast format? I don't know. Well, you're going to get it here. Okay. Then outside of that, then I'm breaking down the equipment that is essential for podcasting. It's easy to start a podcast. It's easy to want to do this and want to do that. But at the end of the day, you don't need all that equipment that you think you need. Okay. So want to make sure that y'all know about that. So you can go to getpaidwithpodcasting.com and you can learn more about the program. But y'all also, I want to make sure that you get to benefit from this. Since you're a listener, since you rock with us here on Speaker Success in the Morning, you will get access to my complete boot camp, right? Complete boot camp, complete offering. You'll get a free 7-day pass to where you can get in, you can see everything that we got, which we also have some pretty dope bonuses. I'm showing you how to create your live stream experience, just like how I'm doing this show right here. I go and I break that down, show you how to do that as well. Then we also have a 4-part speaker training for those people who've been trying to figure out, like, I see these people speaking on stages. I see them traveling. I see them speaking virtually. They're getting paid. How do I do that? What does that look like? What does that require? Yeah, I got a training for that. That's the first course that I ever created. And I never actually sold it. So you getting a bonus there. Then I'm even going to show you how to create a podcast network. What does that look like? What does that mean? Yeah, to where you can house more than one show on your platform. We're breaking that down for you. You got the YouTube training for podcasters, got the TEDx training. Show you how to book your first TEDx. I know people personally that have paid upwards of $10,000 to be able to book a TEDx talk and get coached to go through that process. What do I put on the application, John? What is a TEDx? How do I even know when they're releasing new TED Talks, to TEDx opportunities? Where do I go? How do I find them? Well, I'm trying to show you, okay? I'm trying to give you that game. It's in the course. It's in the program, right? I got some modules on that. And then I'm even going to show you how to start a book, how to go from podcast to publishing house. John, I got a voice. You said I need to start talking. You said I need to start speaking. But what does that look like? And even how can I even generate more revenue from doing that? It would be by starting a book. Yeah, writing a book. And I can show you how to shortcut that process, right? I can show you how to go from podcast to publishing house and not missing anything in between and selling that, right? But y'all, hey man, I just wanted to make sure that y'all knew, because y'all, there's so many people in 2025, 2026, even gonna be 2027 that have been saying, John, I want to create a podcast. I want to start a podcast. What does it take to start a podcast? And to be honest, that number is growing. It was 4.5 million. Now it's 4.6 million podcasts that are out there in these streets. But hey, at the end of the day, if you never take the time to start the podcast, then you can't be mad by seeing other people who are starting podcasts, who are sharing their story, who are really blowing up and doing their thing. So family, I want to give y'all that as a gift on Oprah's birthday, right? The communicator of all communicators, right? Wanted to share and give you that access to our Get Paid with Podcasting Bootcamp. So just go to getpaidwithpodcasting.com and you can sign up right there for your trial. And you can learn what it takes to be an effective communicator like Oprah, be an effective interviewer like Oprah, and learn how to really capitalize like Oprah. Okay, y'all, there's one other clip I wanted to share, y'all, as we're talking about sharing our perspective and sharing our story. There's a gentleman here who has done amazing things and really been phenomenal in not only the content creation space, but by building a platform. And it's a clip from TD Jakes, and he's interviewing none other than Mr. Wallow. So I want to now play this clip, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to talk about it here in just a moment. So here we go.
To get fulfillment out of changing people's lives. I've done it for 50 years. It's the substratum of my life. You know the one thing I miss? I forgot to clap for me. I forgot to clap for me. I never looked at, until I got older and my hair turned white, and I looked back at my life and I realized the things that I got to do and the places I got to go and the people that I got to meet. I did it, but I was so intent on helping them that I never clap for me. And I didn't realize that it is a low-grade form of low self-esteem to only find pleasure out of other people's happiness and not find pleasure out of your own. And my advice, take it if you want to, leave it if you will. Make yourself clap for you because it will complete the healing. If you don't tell yourself that, you'll give to everybody else and die empty. And what was the need of coming out if you're not going to come up?
You're right. You're right about that.
Mm, 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 mm. Oh man, what an exclamation point to end today's episode. Man, clap for you. Clap for you. Through the ups, the downs, the ebbs, the flows, everything in between. Clap for you. Clapping for you looks like not only sharing your story, but then also accepting the applause that comes with it. Clapping for you looks like doing something hard and then saying to yourself, I did that. I deserve to get the rest that comes from that. I deserve to get the accolade, the celebration, the smile on my face, the relief that I earned by doing that. I earned that. Family, today, I want you to clap for yourself. I want you to share your story, and then I want you to sit in the feeling that it brings. I want you today to know that you deserve the opportunity to be emotionally free. You deserve the opportunity to be able to live your best life. You deserve the opportunity to own your perspective and then live in it. So family, today, be free. Be open. Be vulnerable, at least with yourself. But I pray that this episode blessed you today. I pray that it challenged you to share your perspective just a little bit. And also, family, like I said before, this episode was brought to you by getpaidwithpodcasting.com. The only all-encompassing podcast program that I'm going to give you an inside look, an inside pass for free. 7 days. Just sign up and you can see how you can book your first TEDx, how you can do a speaker training, how you can even host your own live experience just like we've done this morning here on Speak Your Success. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, which is Speak Your Success Media, to where you don't miss any episodes. But until then, family, all right, we'll be in contact. We'll talk soon. And if you enjoy our audio experiences, go to wherever you listen to those audio podcasts at and type in Speak Your Success in the morning, and you can hear from us there. Until then, family, remember, speak your success, believe in your greatness, and continue to create the life and business of your dreams. Why should you and why would you live any other